Shalom, Israel, and this is heaven. So, I'm remembering today of something I always contemplate on from time to time. And what brought it up recently is a recent event that has happened with me, with myself. And I want to remind you, I'm telling this for a learning lesson, because I believe it taught me something. So I'll tell you, what happened. Let's say a conversation happened, and I got upset. And a thought of anger towards someone I deemed to be trying to believe and do what is right. And I was wrong in the situation. I did apologize to them, and to me, I made a small effort to make things right and towards peace. But inside, God knows and I know, I still had a lot of bitterness towards the situation. Then later that day, I got ready for bed. But before I was going to lay down, since I knew my apology wasn't so sincere, I wanted to say it again. But I still had bitterness inside me. And, wanted to add my own input with the apology instead of letting the situation actually go. And when I'm sitting up in my bed, let's just say I felt like I breathed fire. I mean, not literally, I'm being extreme, but to describe how painful that was to me. Acid, like heartburn acid, came up in my throat and burned so bad I stood up from sitting on the bed panicking, hoping it would stop, and somehow I wasn't about to spontaneous combust or something. I was making noises because it was painful, and my mom asked me was I okay, and I told her it was strong acid, I believe, and so I took some heartburn medicine for it. Then after that, my chest started having this heavy feeling. And that heavy feeling turned into pain, like sharp pains when I breathe sort of thing. Then I immediately got worried. And the first thing was, am I about to have a heart attack? And I thought that because they say online, in women, their heart attack symptoms can come and we won't even know we're having a heart attack. Because one of the symptoms is heartburn. And my mother already hit me to that, so I was worried. And then when I read, I had almost all the symptoms of someone who was about to have a heart attack or is having a minor heart attack. So I was freaking out inside, though I was trying to stay calm. And the biggest thing that kept looping through my mind is that I had got mad and angry and I was going to die a disbeliever. Let's say right away I asked for God's forgiveness. I prayed against those thoughts of holding on to any anger, and I immediately texted the ones I got mad at saying sorry, and everyone who was around who even witnessed me getting upset, because I know God will call you to account for stressing people out and hindering them with your bad actions and examples. So right away, that's what I did, still in pain. I laid down after much prayers and medicines, which I know medicines only works if God allows it. I laid down and I finally went to sleep after being worried. And then I woke up feeling alright. Brushed my teeth and everything and was ready for the day. But then I started having chest pains again. A small difficult time breathing, and I felt dizzy, which is symptoms of heart attack. And then my back started hurting super bad, which is another symptom. It was so painful it got worse than my chest pains. I laid down and I was trying to stay calm, because according to online, it makes it worse to panic when you're already, having a heart attack or you're about to have a heart attack. So you should do something that relaxes you when you feel that way. So I decided to listen to music, which of course I always listen to godly music, and it relaxes me, even listening to the words. But I was still very scared. I kept looking up to see what it could be, and I was trying to out different natural remedies for a heart attack. Then I started to cry, because I know even though I do stupid things, I don't want to die in sin and go to the fire. I want to make it, and I always have as a child. So it was making me feel so awful that I ever got mad. So much that I apologized again, and I talked to God about things I need to do and been neglecting in my life, and that if He let me live past the moment, I would do those things. So Let's say it turned out that I believe it actually wasn't a heart attack. It was the acid that came up, burnt my esophagus. Because that day, I believe earlier in the day, I ate spicy chicken. It was either earlier in the day or towards sunset, and I completely forgot about it. So if you have any problems with heartburn, you better stay away from spicy foods. I don't care how much you love it, stay away. Or at least, be very careful and do only so much at a time, not too much. My suggestion is to naturally try to get rid of the heartburn if you can. But if you are on certain medications and you got severe heartburn, just to take it very, very slow if you want to wean yourself off of it. And make sure you got the right herbs and stuff that actually helps you. I would say test it out while you are on the medications. Don't just get off and kill yourself, because I know it's nothing to play with. Trust me. And if it hasn't gotten too bad and you only got it mildly, like every once in a while, then you better quickly take care of it. And don't just go to bed with it and you haven't, taken anything for it. Like, you don't just lay down and you got heartburn and it's burning your chest, because it's going to make it worse. And then it's going to give you GERD, which you don't want. And they say yogurt helps, strawberry yogurt or plain yogurt, or, vanilla, and aloe vera, which I had drank some drinks of like aloe vera juice before. And it was nasty, but, they say that it works for you. For me, it only worked like very temporarily, and then it just came back. But you take what works for you. Sometimes it's too much acid in your stomach, and sometimes it's too little. So you gotta decipher, what it is according to your symptoms. Now I'm saying this story for a teaching lesson. They say don't waste your time and don't waste your life. Whether we know this or not, we all have a set time limit of how long we are to live on this earth before we die and go to wherever we belong in the afterlife. And our actions are going to determine that. What I think about from time to time helps me when I remember. And it's what my father told me, which is inspiration from God. Because all good comes from God. And that is that people live their lives without thinking. Just doing your daily routine, whatever it may be, getting up in the morning, thinking of whatever your first thought is. Because I know majority don't wake up and thank the Lord like we ought to. Or talk to the Lord or say, God, I love you. Then you go take a bath, put on clothes, and it might be clothes you're putting on that's fitting and tight, so somebody could look at you sexually and be attracted to you. Then you go through the whole day thinking on constant evil and wickedness. So you have to be very, very, very careful of what you do in your everyday life and routine. If your mind is constantly thinking evil, then for that every thought you have to pay, and you are in high jeopardy of going to the fire. You're in jeopardy of the fire if you're doing things with the wrong intentions. Putting on tight clothes, doing dance videos on TikTok to make people desire your body, losing weight to look attractive, putting on makeup and a weave in your head to possibly get a man you want by your looks. You texting or talking with your friends or your family to gossip and get into other people's life problems so you can spread the word to all the niggas on the block to make that person and their family seem bad and like they losers going downhill. You secretly going to the club. All these secret intentions that people don't know about, or maybe you ain't even taking thought into how sick it is, and that these are truly your intentions, because people go into denial with themselves. Just know God knows what you're doing and what you very well intend upon every second and every moment of your day. Even if you smile because you thought somebody was cute, or you sat close to somebody's wallet or purse you wanted to steal, everything counts, trust me. Trust God that He is not leaving a single deed out in your book of deeds, and He is going to question you about each one. If a single one has any ill intent, you in jeopardy, and you gonna taste the hellfire. Fight tooth and comb yourself, Israel, and really think about your daily routine and that maybe you need to change it up. Maybe change your intentions and stop doing certain things you ain't got no business doing. And maybe change up and start doing a lot more than what you've been doing in your lifetime. Do a lot more good. Help more people. Be more about God. Put God first, and next time you wake up, thank the Lord and praise Him for letting you live another day and for everything else He's been doing for you and has done for you in your life that you show no appreciation of. Be more grateful. Be more kind to people and stop thinking that when you sin, you got time. When you sin purposely, which is usually always purposely, that you got a long enough life to get yourself straight with God. No, you can have a heart attack out of nowhere. Yeah, there can be a cause like eating spicy chicken, but sin triggers pain and destruction. It's like you may already have cancer in your body and not know it, but keep sinning and it's going to spread so quickly in your body and kill you. And just like the Lord said, you sow evil, you reap evil. You sow good, you reap good. God made a balance system that you can't get around, and every time you try to escape it, you pay even more. Try to escape death. Who thinks they can escape death and never die? You see everyone dying around you from young to middle age to old, and you think you not? You see people, the most healthy fit people, have strokes and heart attacks, and it's not going to happen to you. Do you think you won't die? You are going to die one day, and you know it. And I'm not saying this so you can give up. It's so you can push forward, Israel. God didn't let us know the time we are going to die. We don't know how many days we may have left. But as long as you are breathing, like my father used to say, God is still giving you a chance after chance with every breath to get your life together. Stop making excuses for yourself, saying you can't change because you don't want to change, and you can't get away from sin because you're too scared to leave a lifestyle. You too scared to displease your parents or your spouse or your friends. You too scared to tell them what's right and tell them the truth. You too afraid to tell them who they are. Stop living in fear. The only fear you should be living in is going back to sin and betraying your Lord. Stop throwing God out the window for money, for sex, for anger, for emotions, for addictions. It's all addictions and a drug you use to satisfy you for a second, then burn in hell for it sooner or later. You have to think, Israel. You are trying to fight for your innocence in court and prove your innocence to the judge. In this case, it is God who is the best judge of all and who has all the evidence of what you've done. You're proving yourself innocent or guilty, and God's prison is the best in pain and punishment because it's life in hell, except you never die, so it is literally for an eternity. Or you can be innocent and live life in somewhere better than the earth itself, and something beyond our imagination and thought. God made this earth with all the beautiful things that you love in it, including yourself. You think as God, the creator of all things, He can't make something even greater? Yes, He can. And that will be your reward if you just clean up your life, Israel. Humble yourself and change. Close your legs, harlot. Stop looking in dirty magazines. Stop drinking and smoking. One day someone is going to slip something in your drugs that's going to destroy you from the inside out and kill you, because it's happening often now. If you can't remember anything, remember, evil causes evil and good causes good. And good is going to weigh heavy in God's eyes. But you first need to make a plea to quit all your wickedness. And I mean all, or it doesn't matter, or make a difference to do good. Then if you're still intending upon sinning and still willingly doing it, you have to stop, drug addict, murderer, liar, harlot, thief. You have to stop in order for your good deeds to start even counting in God's eyes. And remove your past evils that God may show you mercy for on that day. If you work on removing them all by doing a lot of good. Putting good out into the world to replace the madness you put into it. Work on it now, Israel, and work hard. This is heaven.